Hello lovers, welcome to the Butterfly Effect podcast hosted by myself, Lauren Amy. This is for those who are ready to take up space, who are living a soft life loudly and are ready to savor the sweetness in each moment. Here we're going to embrace transformation, the beauty of the in-between and the magic of becoming. So pull up a seat and listen in because life is delicious and it's about goddamn time we eat it up. Hello lovers, happy Wellness Wednesday. Welcome to episode 2 of the Butterfly Effect. How are you all doing? I feel like we should have a little check-in. I was thinking about how I wanted to start the podcast today. I was like, do I want to come in full energy, lots of positivity? And I decided no, because that would be a little bit of a performance. Full disclaimer, we are having a maintenance day right now. I taught the Calm Collective last night, and if you don't know what the Calm Collective is, it's a monthly event that I run on the 4th Friday of each month as a nice, gentle unraveling to kind of shake off the day, the week, the month, whatever it has brought you, and kind of to softly unravel into the weekend before another month rolls in. And every time I teach a Calm Collective, I love to have a completely clear Saturday afterwards. If I schedule anything on a Saturday post Calm Collective, I'm like, you idiot, what are you doing? So maintenance day is in full flow. And if you don't know what a maintenance day is, it's literally where you just do whatever you need to do to kind of bring yourself back to center, some sort of balance. And yes, for me today, it is not just a want to have a maintenance day, it's a necessity. It's a need. I've had a busy old week. You know, the Patreon launched, the podcast launched. Don't ask me why I decided to do both those things in the same week, but nevertheless, I'm very much the kind of girl that kind of just rips the band-aid off and just goes, let's fucking go. But as a result, yes, it's been a mental week. I have been somewhat dysregulated. The triggers have been triggering. My anxiety has flared. And I wanted to be upfront and honest about that because, you know, if I'm going to show the full behind the scenes of what's going on, I'm going to show the full behind the scenes of what's going on. I see it all the time on social media of businesses sharing these really exciting things like, oh, you wouldn't believe what I've got going on behind the scenes. You wouldn't believe the moves I'm making. You wouldn't believe what I've got planned coming up that I'm going to announce very soon. I'm like, oh my God, yes, this all sounds very exciting. I can't wait to hear more. But show me the full behind the scenes, right? Show me the moments where you are doubting yourself. Show me the moments where you are hesitating. Show me the moments where you are fearful, because people need to see more of that because we don't talk about it enough. Yes, it is exciting. I've had a really exciting week in that I've launched the Patreon, I've launched the podcast, but I would be the biggest hypocrite if I wasn't like, ooh, it's been mad, okay? So yes, maintenance day is in full flow. We've had a lovely, soft morning, lazy morning, nourishing breakfast. I'm currently drinking a smoothie, which is like ginger and lime. It's my favorite smoothie ever. Just did a 45-minute yoga practice as well. Incense has been burning. The diffuser is going as well. And you might listen to that being like, wow, she's got her shit together. No. This is happening because I have not had my shit together, okay? Full disclosure, okay? So as I say, let's check in. How are you all doing? For me, I've been very much on autopilot this week, where my body, my nervous system has been communicating to me like, you know, you're a little bit dysregulated, Lauren. You need to slow it down. You need to check back in. And chances are, if I'm feeling that way, I'm pretty sure some of you are also feeling that way. So let's literally, if it's safe for you to do so, like if you're driving, obviously don't do this. If you're outside walking, maybe find a place to sit down, or perhaps lean your back up against a tree. That would be lovely. And literally just take a moment, close your eyes and just feel into your body right now. Notice your breath rate, notice your heart rate. How does it feel? Maybe there's a little flutter across the heart. Maybe there's a slight tightness across the chest or hesitancy here. And just notice it, just take it all in. Nothing needs to change. So you don't need to consciously make any changes here. You don't need to do anything here. Just notice, just take it all in. And maybe even as you're listening to this, your mind feels quite busy, those thoughts coming and going. So just feel free to give them all space. Notice each thought as it comes to the forefront of your mind. See it, visualize it, hold it there. And then if it feels okay to do so, then let's just let it go. Let that thought go just as effortlessly as it rolled in. And if it needs a little bit of help, maybe you visualize that thought getting smaller, quieter. Let it gradually roll to the back of your mind. And then for a moment, just notice the space it leaves behind. That fleeting moment of emptiness, quiet, and it might be so fleeting. It might just be this tiny little glimpse. That is okay. And perhaps it's so tiny, so small before, and inevitably another thought comes to the forefront of your mind. So again, repeat that process. Notice it, give it space, hold it there for a moment. And then let it float by. And perhaps as well as noticing your body, these emotions, these thoughts, these sensations, perhaps actually also take a moment just to feel where your body is in space. Perhaps have a little wriggle of your toes. Maybe you are stood somewhere outside in nature, so wriggle your toes, almost like you can dig your feet into the earth. Feel that rooting. Notice your ability to root to ground. Or perhaps you're sat cozy on your sofa or even like propped up on your bed. So notice these soft cushionings beneath you, how they mold to the shape of your body, how they draw you in. Notice the different textures, your clothing against your skin, and hopefully nothing feels too restricted here. So see how your clothing moves with you as you continue to breathe, as you continue to inhale, to exhale. And just really utilize this moment, this opportunity to just land into your body, to just land into this moment and give yourself permission to just exist here, taking a pause. And this pause, even though it perhaps feels a little bit silly, this pause is perhaps going to be the most powerful thing you do today. So it doesn't matter what's happened this morning or what's going to happen later on today, this afternoon or evening, whenever you are listening to this, let this pause be the only thing that matters. Again, just feel into your body, feel into your current experience. Take a moment, take a pause, take a breath. And as you take in that breath, as you fill up the belly, as you fill up the lungs, draw in that freshness in through the nose. And then as you exhale and sigh it all out, notice how good that feels. So feel free to take another and another and another. Just keep filling yourself up with that freshness. Beautiful. Maybe there's already a slight shift. Heart rate slows down, breath slows down. And perhaps the more time we spend here in this quiet, in this calm, perhaps the more we start to notice. Perhaps the more we realize that we're actually holding a little bit of tension or discomfort in the body, and that could manifest as physical sensation, or perhaps it's emotional. Maybe there is a particular emotion weighing heavily on you right now, so see where that emotion resides. Maybe it's like a weight pressing down on your shoulders, or perhaps it's this gut feeling, your intuition trying to communicate to you. Perhaps it's an achiness across the lower back. Perhaps a strain through the eyes, or perhaps you realize you're clenching your jaw here. And of course, it could be all these things. It could be none of these things. We're all going to have an entirely different experience. I'm just inviting you to notice what yours is. Whatever it is, again, give yourself an opportunity to just feel it. And as you notice these things, as you notice these places where you are perhaps holding on or gripping, give yourself permission to let it go. Again, just sigh it out. And I know that sounds really simple, but nothing needs to happen in an instant. It's not like we can flick a switch or click our fingers and instantly be the most relaxed we've ever been. Again, just grant yourselves this opportunity to just exist. And then let's maybe go ahead, just take another steady breath in. Steady breath out. Perhaps let's have one more all together. Big breath in. And a big breath out. Beautiful. Okay, loves. Oh, how did that feel? So perhaps starting to slowly flutter the eyelids open. Maybe you close the eyes there. And perhaps as you open the eyes, notice how crisp and clear everything seems for a moment. Again, it's like we open our eyes back into our world and suddenly everything feels more alive because you have taken the time to just fully land into this moment and perhaps actually just take a moment to appreciate what's around you. Maybe you're in your cozy, safe space at home. Again, I'm looking around my room now. I've got these gorgeous plants around me, these beautiful shades of green. There's this gorgeous blue sky outside. Yeah, so take a moment, just look around you and know that wherever you are, you're safe. Wherever you are grounded. Wherever you are, you have everything you could possibly need. You're enough here. Beautiful. That felt really special to do, actually. That's the first time I've done anything like that on a podcast in this format. Oh, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I definitely needed that. Maybe you needed that as well. So again, let's just keep this nice, calm, soft quality as we kind of go into the rest of this podcast. And there's a few things I also want to discuss today. So I've been talking a lot about trusting the process. If you're a yogi of mine, you've probably had me bang on about this in the past week or so, and you're probably like, is she going to shut up about trusting the process? Sorry, but no. I'm going to keep talking about it a little bit more because it's something that I have really been relying on this week, just trusting the process, trusting the natural unfolding of all things, and even trusting that, yes, maybe there's moments where it feels like everything is kind of falling around you, but perhaps it's kind of falling around you because it's falling into place. So can we trust that too? Can we actually trust that if you're in a moment of stickiness, if you're in a moment where everything feels icky and you're really having to trudge through the sludge, again, trust that process too, because it's all part of it. It's all part of you slowly working through this process, of you slowly becoming whatever it is that you want to be, of you slowly working towards your best self. This, whenever I talk about best self, it always reminds me of a conversation I had with a client not too long ago where we had a little chat after class, and she's like, I'm just trying so hard to be my best self. I'm trying so hard. I'm doing everything I possibly can. And I said to her, that's amazing. That's an amazing awareness to have. That's an amazing goal to have, to be your best self. That's a healthy thing to say. But also, the way you're saying it is just putting so much pressure and so much expectation on yourself. And really, do you ever want to be your best self? Because if you reach that, if you reach the pinnacle of your best self, that means there's no way further up from there. You've reached it. That's it. And then what? Do you just stay on that line? I don't think so. So this pursuit of being your best self is an ongoing process. And sometimes it dips, sometimes you go down before you head back up. Okay. So really, do we ever reach our best self? Maybe, I don't know. Does anyone really know? I just think in this quest to better ourselves, to be our best selves, there's going to be these rises, these falls. And there's going to be moments where you feel like you're getting there, you're nearly there. And there's going to be moments where you feel like you're miles away from it. And that is okay. It's all part of it. Take that pressure, take that expectation off yourself just a little bit. Again, in that check-in we did just then, give yourself a few moments to just exist, because that's probably the most powerful, most potent thing you do, more so than all the steps, all the action, all the conscious steps that you are making. Taking a moment to pause, that's probably going to make the most difference. That's probably going to have the greatest impact. Trust that as best as you can. And that's something that I really wanted to put on the podcast. And as I say, I've been talking about it a lot in practices, in my in-person practices this week. But what I've also done, because if you missed it, she's got a Patreon page now. So yes, you can join me over there, where I will be uploading at least one full yoga practice a week. So that means you get 4 within a month. And alongside that, there's also going to be some shorter practices, maybe some more meditations, maybe some more visualizations, which I might also upload for free. I'm very much leaning towards this week uploading a free 20-minute trust the process visualization to go alongside the full yoga class of Trusting the Process that is uploaded. That's actually been up since Monday. So if you're listening to this on Wednesday, that has been up since Monday. You can go check out and join me for that practice online right now if you fancy it. So yes, as well as trusting the process, another thing I want to talk about today is reconnecting with the tenacity of your younger self. I've been thinking about my younger self a lot this week because she was so determined. She was so feisty. I've been thinking a lot back to like my 22-year-old self, I think I was, where I had finished uni. I'd just come out of my master's degree and I just suddenly decided, you know what, I've got this yoga teaching qualification. I'm going to do something with it. And I could have done the easier route. I'm not saying anything is easy. I could have done the easier route of reaching out to some studios and, asking if they've got any cover opportunities or asking if they've got any openings for new teachers to step in. So I could become affiliated with a studio and then perhaps build up some clientele from there. But no, I decided to just go independent right from the get-go and just try and find my people. And I had this kind of tenacity. I had this kind of undeniable fire, desire, and trust that I was going to reach those people, that I was going to slowly find my way and it was all going to fall into place. And granted, because I started in that way, it probably took me a little bit longer. So I think it literally wasn't until about 2 years into it where I was like, oh, okay, actually, I feel like I can make something here. I can do something here. And bear in mind, we had COVID in amongst all of that as well. So lockdown, yes, that probably delayed things massively. But throughout that entire time, I just kept pushing. I just kept showing up. I had no work experience. I had no business experience. All I had was my 2 dance degrees, my yoga qualification, and just a desire to reach people and share the joy of practicing yoga. That's all I had. And that's what that's just what kept me going. So I've been trying to reconnect with that tenacity a little bit this past week in, again, the launch of the Patreon and in the launch of this podcast, because I have no idea how these two things are going to unfold. I have this dream, of course, I have this idea, and I'm trying to hold on to that idea as best as I can. But I sure as hell know there's going to be some surprise along the way. There's going to be things that test me along the way. There's going to be things that throw me off balance, off kilter. But that tenacity is going to be what keeps me going. So just for a few moments, just think back to a younger version of yourself, pick an age, doesn't matter when, but you could even go back to your like almost baby you, how you kept learning to walk and you kept trying, you kept practicing that skill, despite how many times you failed, you stumbled, you fell, you kept getting back up. That is tenacity. That is a willingness to learn. And then if you think about yourself a little bit older, again, that playfulness, how you climbed a tree without knowing how you were going to get up or how you were going to get down. And again, you don't know if you're going to fall, but you still climb that tree because you have this desire to reach a new height and see the world, see your surroundings in a different perspective. You did that. I'm sure of it. You did that. And again, your younger self, you believed wholeheartedly in your dreams without seeking some form of external validation. You literally said to yourself, I want to do that. And you went away and did it. And I'm seeing this a lot. So I have been going to a heels dance class weekly for the most part for, I think, about a month now. No, maybe more than that. And that heels class has done such wonders for my confidence and also taking me out of maybe this congested, busy headspace. But also there's a lot of young girls there. And these young girls, they are so confident. And sometimes I've been questioning as I've been observing them, like, is this confidence or is this like this overbearing confidence kind of masking some insecurity? Because I think back to myself, maybe I had that overbearing confidence but I know deep down I was insecure. But these girls, again, they are going for it. They are showing up and they're wearing these gorgeous outfits. They're strutting around in their heels. But even as they talk, even as they share their experiences, they are using their voices. They are confident. And I'm looking at these young girls and I'm like, wow, I can take inspiration from these girls. And that I have been taking inspiration from them. Slowly but surely, I have grown in confidence in these classes. And yeah, I'm really enjoying them. So if you fancy going to a heels class, I highly recommend, you know, be the little sassy, little sexy sass pot that you are, because that deserves to be seen too. Yeah. But coming back to this tenacity, it's this raw, determined, but it's this raw, untamed determination of youth. Okay. And we don't lose that. We just forget how to access it. And as we grow, we learn caution. We learn kind of the weight of rejection and like that sting of failure. And again, we feel the weight of expectation and pressure that's either placed on us by ourselves or by others. That tenacity just slowly gets suppressed further and further as we're just more cautious about how we go about things. But I'm wondering, what if we blend and make a delicious little cocktail? What if we blend the wisdom we have now with the experience we have, with the tenacity of our youth? And just imagine, again, that delicious cocktail of forward momentum that you could then make by, again, just being a little bit more fearless. Or, again, that typical phrase, feel the fear and just do it anyway. And again, not having to overanalyze or think we have to have everything sorted before we give things a go. Again, just taking my own experience as an example, like with the Patreon page, I don't even, this is quite funny, I don't even really know how Patreon works as a platform, okay? I think I Googled like, which is better for me to use if I want to do XYZ? Is it Patreon? Is it Substack? And Patreon seemed to be the one that kind of ranked high. And I was just like, okay, cool, let's go for it. And I literally just created a profile, whacked a few photos on there, wrote a little description. I was like, okay, cool. By the way, guys, this is what I'm doing. This is where my practices are going to be. And as I mentioned, I'm very much like ripping the Band-Aid off kind of person. And I'll very much just learn as I go. And I like to think that was my tenacious younger self that was just being softly reawoken there. Because the more I thought about it, the more I tried to perfect it, the more I tried to have everything in place, the less likely I was ever actually going to do it. So maybe there's something that you have been thinking, or maybe there's like a little idea in the back of your mind that you have been questioning, dreaming of, or perhaps just putting off, or again, thinking like, now's not the time. When I have this in place, I'll give it a go. Just have a moment and have a little sit down, have a little chat with your tenacious younger self, because I guarantee she will be like, what are you waiting for? You know? And guarantee also, she will also say back to you like, I want to do this now. And you're telling me that in 10 years, you still haven't done this? Come on, hun. Come on, go do it. Just trust that process, use this tenacity and see where it's going to take you. Yeah, that's what I really wanted to discuss in this week's podcast. And I suppose there's some ways in which we can reconnect with the tenacity of our younger self. One of these ways is reconnect with your why, okay? And it's not just why you're doing things and why you're doing things for yourself, but what is it that gets you excited, okay? Or what are the things that get you excited? You know, that you wake up each day and think, oh, how amazing is it that I get to do this? And again, there's an element of trust in the process, because each morning you wake up and you don't know how the day is going to unfold, but still you wake up, you go about your day. And I said in Calm Collective literally last night that every step you take on this earth is literally an act of faith. That's actually something I heard from Alan Watts at a recent exhibition I went at. Beautiful exhibition called Breathscapes. I highly recommend. I think it's open until end of April. I'll put it in the show notes. But yes, highly recommend going and see that. Yeah, that is a phrase I heard from Alan Watts. Every step you take is literally an act of faith, because you never know if the earth is just going to fall out from beneath your feet. You never know if you're going to next stumble, trip, or fall, but still you continue to walk. Still you continue to take these steps. And that is amazing, okay? So remind yourself of that. And again, reconnect with your why. Why is it that you're taking these steps? What is it that's getting you excited? What is it that's pushing you forwards, okay? So that's the first thing I'd recommend. What is your why? And then again, that second thing, detach from perfection. Again, just think of how many times that you have kept practicing a skill, even as simple as tying your shoes when you were little, or learning to write, or learning a language, a musical instrument. Just think of how many times you have practiced that skill and how many times you have failed. But again, you've kept going. Failure is such a beautiful thing. Failure is magical. I'm actually hoping with the Patreon, the podcast, that, well, I'm pretty certain there's probably going to be a few failures along the way. There's going to have a few moments where I'm having to pigeon. There's probably going to be a few moments where I have to pivot. I have to reframe things. I have to adjust things. That is the learning process, okay? And there's something my coach said to me a couple of weeks ago: the quicker you fail, the faster you'll move. Like the quicker you fail, the faster you'll get towards that end goal, you know? And with that, take more risks. Again, that fear of failure is something that we have learned. That's something we have learned as we have grown up. But courage is remembering that you have moved through, you have moved past every setback you have faced so far. You know, that courage, that tenacity has got you where you are right now. And there have been so many moments where you have moved past that fear of failure. So recognize those moments. And actually, my sister's going to love this. I'm going to quote something my sister said to me yesterday, where we had a good little sit down, a good little chat. But she said something about, look at the ways that you inspire yourself. And I literally wrote it down in front of her because I was just like, whoa, that's landed so perfectly in my brain right now. That is something I need to hear. Look at the ways in which you inspire yourself, because I promise you, there are so many ways. How creative you are, how, you know, you create space for you each week or something, how you show up for others. Yes, that's something to be admired, but how you show up for yourself is perhaps something we admire even more. Again, look for the ways in which you inspire yourself. And I'm not going to list a load of options, because I really invite you to think about how you inspire yourself here. Maybe, like, even if it's just one thing, it could be so small. The way in which you make your cup of tea in the morning, great, excellent. Again, you don't always have to think so big. Think about the small things, because it's often the smaller, more quieter, more subtle things that you do that have the greatest impact. And with that, play more, get curious, okay? Curiosity literally fuels persistence, it fuels courage, it fuels fire. I literally feel every time I have been curious about something, or I've gone into something like open-minded, open-hearted, it ignites that fire within more, even more. I know I speak a lot about inner light, inner fire. And actually, I've been thinking a lot, like, you know, we are all, you know, those birthday candles that you try and blow out, but they come back to life. Be as stubborn as that birthday candle. You know, no matter how many times someone attempts to blow that candlelight out, you come back and you burn even brighter, even stronger. And it's that curiosity that's going to, again, fan the flames of that fire even more. So again, just believe in yourself the way your younger self did. Okay, because she is right there. She is rooting for you. And she wants you to win. There's so many other people around you that also want you to win. You also have to want yourself to win. Bloody hell. That was something, wasn't it? That came from nowhere. Wow. Okay, so I hope that inspires you a little bit today. Again, take some time to think about the ways in which you inspire yourself, reconnect with the tenacity of your younger self, and, you know, have a maintenance day, because, again, they are needed, they are necessary, and beautiful. Oh, amazing. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. That was okay. I'm satisfied with that. Amazing. Have a beautiful rest of your Wellness Wednesday, Huns. If you are new to the podcast, just making sure you're not forgetting to rate and review, like and subscribe, all those lovely things. If you're interested in a Trust the Process yoga practice, that is over on my Patreon page right now. And then keep your beady eyes peeled for a shorter Trust the Process meditation or visualization. I'm not sure what that's going to be just yet. but I'm sure that'll all come out to you very soon, also on the Patreon page. But yes, thank you so much, loves, for listening. Let me know how you found this episode. Show me where you are listening from. Tag me at butterflyeffect.pod. Can't wait to hear from you. And yes, let's build that fire, honeys. Let's fucking go. All right. Love you loads. Mwah. Bye.